I do want to start a web-based store for the Firebear Republic, so where we can sell merch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could sell like t-shirts and all the stuff we have now. Plus, we could market like unique products, like stuff we come up with.
Yeah.
So, like, you know about the mass exodus of the Christian church, right? Like younger people, like in their 30s and 20s and stuff, just mass leaving the Christian church to where they used to be like a 84% majority in this country, and now they're like a 70% majority in this country or some shit. But it's like astronomical.
I didn't know that there was a mass exodus, but yeah.
They're all like bitter. Like, my wife's pretty bitter, right? About Christianity.
I've seen a few posts.
Yeah. She's offended with a lot of people. What if we marketed Jesus Christ punching bags?
Fuck.
Because they like to throw the blame like to Jesus. They always were grown up being told like, you need to give it to Jesus. You need to give it to Jesus. And now that they're like giving it to Jesus, they're like, you need to leave Jesus alone.
I say no.
What if we just sold?
I say the Firebear Republic turns over a new leaf.
So I can't sell Jesus branded punching bags?
No more politics.
Oh.
No more toppings on pizzas. No more religion. Real religions.
Oh, we can still talk about fictional religions within TV shows and movies?
Yes. Yeah. Because they're not real. Or dead religions. How about that one?
Okay.
Yeah. Like Norse mythology.
All right.
Yeah.
But some people still believe it.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
From the bottom of my heart. I apologize. I was wrong.
So we're turning over a new leaf.
Yes.
Well, damn it. Wait, can I still say damn it? Or does that hold religious kind of... Huh?
Damn it?
Yeah, can I still say damn it? Or is that religious?
What about God damn it?
Oh, can we still say God damn it?
Lowercase g.
Lowercase g.
There we go.
From here forth, whenever something is deserving of a, oh, God damn it.
Yeah. It's a lowercase.
We are implying the lowercase g in that statement because we are going to be neutral.
Just as gray as fucking possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's a dark side and a light side, we're right down the middle.
Yeah. So tell your friends, tell your family, play it at picnics and
they can listen to the Firebear Republic. We're not going to start any episodes with anything about buttholes.
No buttholes.
Well, for 30 episodes,
we're going to
from here on out, we will give it a 30 episode break where we don't say anything about buttholes in the first 60 seconds of an episode.
Oh, man. We're going to get 2 episodes and something amazing is going to happen butthole related.
In the world of buttholes?
In the world of buttholes. It's going to be trending news.
Oh, man.
Yeah. We're going to regret those words.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
We have to stay silent on it.
For the listeners.
For the listeners, we will do this.
Yeah. Until we forget we said we... Yeah.
God damn it. Welcome to the Firebear Republic. I'm Jamie.
I'm Dustin.
And this week we've got a pretty stacked episode. With theaters being back, we went and saw Snake Eyes. So we're going to review that shit for you. At the end of the episode, there will be spoilers. So after our little discussion and all the news, if you haven't gone and seen it, if you're going to go and see it, you can go see it, or you can listen to what we have to say about it. It doesn't really matter one way or the other.
Yeah.
Especially on this one.
I feel like you get a lot of information in the trailer.
You do.
You know?
And it's like the most like lorific G.I. Joe lore. Like Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, like everyone knows that shit.
I gotta be honest, I knew that they didn't like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know why.
Oh. Well, I mean, this is like a new reason why, but...
Is it?
Yeah. It's not the original story.
Well, that's spoilers to me.
Okay. So before we get into any of that stuff,
you
had something you wanted to bring up that's very important to you?
Well, Even though Kevin Smith has been talking about it for the past like 10 fucking years.
Yeah.
How long has it been since Clerks 2?
Clerks 2 came out in like 2007.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Clerks 3 just started production. That's fucking crazy.
It's the only one he fucking owns, right?
Yeah, he owns like Jay and Silent Bob, the characters, and he owns Clerks because it's been like a certain amount of time.
Yeah, because like Miramax owned one of them, and it's not even in print. You can't get Dogma at all. Like, it's out of print and it's not streaming anywhere.
Weird, I didn't know that.
I think you can pay for it on Amazon, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you can pay for it on Amazon, to be honest. Yeah.
Huh.
I'm pretty sure I have it, but...
Well, anyway, he's working with Lionsgate this time.
Yeah, that's pretty huge.
Yeah.
And he's learned his lesson, so he's not going to give them all of his shit.
Yeah, true, right? But...
You live and learn.
Yeah, but like, honestly, he doesn't do movies very often anymore, so...
Yeah.
I mean, there could be worse things.
Dude, it's a big deal. The other day when he started production, he was like, I'm starting production for Clerks 3. And it has all the original cast of Clerks 1 and 2 and all of this stuff. And I've been wanting to tell this story for such a long time. And it was like a big info dump.
Well, I'm very confused on how things are working because, like, I've followed this shit for years.
Yeah.
You know?
We've probably talked about it 5 times on the podcast.
The guy who played Randall
Mm-hmm.
has been butthurt that he has not been included in anything.
Oh.
And he, like, swore off doing any more stuff with Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
So apparently he's back?
I mean, if I'm reading that message, Facebook tweet thing.
Yeah. And also, is this going to be the same Clerks 3 that he was doing readings of? Like, in his...
That I don't know.
Yeah, he was doing, like, live readings of it for, like, weeks.
Yeah.
He built, like, some kind of, like a venue hall or something right beside the Quick Stop.
Yeah, yeah.
And, yeah, sold tickets to...
That's pretty, like, sure of yourself.
Right?
Yeah, I'm going to read the script or the screenplay, I don't know, to my new movie.
We got, like, a few people, you know, so it would be, like, Walt Flanagan, you know, like, and a few other people. Well, I don't think Walt did any of that, but, like, Brian Johnson and stuff.
Right.
And they, like, play different characters.
Yeah.
But they, like, do the whole thing in front of you. You know? Like, the whole script. Isn't that crazy?
It is.
He had to have changed something since then, right? Because that was at least a couple of years ago.
I would hope.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he just sat on it all the way through the pandemic and then just took it to film.
Yeah. I mean, either way.
Pretty weird.
It'd be
Hopefully
cool.
This one isn't just like ass to mouth jokes and like a donkey show. I'm not a big Clerks 2 fan, man.
I feel like Clerks is one of those movies that you need to go back and rewatch.
The original Clerks or
no,
Clerks
the
2?
second one.
Okay, so I did. And I actually found it way more relatable in my 30s.
Right.
Than I did in my 20s.
Yeah.
When it came out.
Because I'm with you. Like, when it came out, it was like a few funny parts.
Yeah.
But, like, otherwise, it just felt like...
It still feels considerably more lowbrow. Like, I understand their issues, right?
Yeah.
But it still felt considerably more lowbrow humor.
True.
Than the first one.
Yeah.
I hope it just doesn't trend in that direction. Like in the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back direction.
Yeah, and like the more recent
Jay Especially and Bob movie. That one, because that one wasn't great.
It wasn't. I feel like he's gotten too many famous friends at this point. Yeah. You know? I don't know.
I'm still really excited for it.
Me too.
I'll always have this, like, any of the Kevin Smith, like, Jersey movies, I'll always have this, like, soft spot for it. I'll always go see it, like, right away as soon as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of a fan, I think.
Yeah. Even if they're bad, you give them a shot, and then you're just kind of like, man, I was hoping it was...
Yeah, I was hoping this was going to be much more than it was, and it wasn't. I think, didn't Strike Back or the reboot come out after the pandemic? It didn't come out in theaters. We watched it at home. Or did we go see that in theaters?
I watched it after. Like,
oh, it had like a really weird release.
Yeah.
That's right. It got like a limited release, and then it came out, and you could just buy it. We watched it.
Right. Yeah, I watched it like video on demand or something.
Yeah.
It's been a while since it happened, but...
It has been. I hope Clerks 3 is like a true, like, theatrical release, go watch it with some friends and some popcorn.
When Kevin Smith has like a point that he wants to get across, I feel like it really shows in the movie.
He's good at making his point.
Yeah.
When he doesn't have a point to make, the movie turns into the reboot. Damn. So something else I'm excited about, right? We both, and I think you agree with me on this, we lost interest in American Gods.
Yeah, I did for sure. Yeah.
We're not taking shots at religion again. We lost interest in the TV show American Gods.
Yeah, this is Neil Gaiman's approach to religion.
This is the neutral Firebear Republic talking about a show that incorporates a fictitious religion.
Yeah.
And freaking Orlando Jones got shit canned from the 3rd season. I didn't even watch the 3rd season.
Even though he wrote the 2nd season?
He show ran the goddamn 2nd season because the showrunner left.
Yeah.
He was in there doing double duty, and then they hired a new showrunner who didn't want to be arguing with him, I guess, or have any question of his authority, I guess.
Yeah, like I guess like he comes in the 3rd season and he's like, "Thanks for keeping my seat warm." Like,
yeah, it's kind of like if you took over for your boss, but your boss was still there.
Yeah,
and you're like, "Oh, it's like this," and you didn't really know if he was going to try and like run the show.
Right.
Even though he gave up the title. It'd be like a weird situation for him. So they got rid of Orlando Jones, but now Orlando Jones is getting the Nancy Boy spinoff. And it's going to be on Amazon, which answers our question of if another network could pick it up.
Well, from what I'm reading,
in
the books that Neil Gaiman wrote, the Nancy Boy book is a spin-off of American Gods.
Right.
But cinematically, they have nothing to do with each other.
Okay.
Except for the fact that the guy who played
Nancy.
Yeah, is playing Nancy again.
Man, Mr. Nancy was so great.
Isn't that crazy, though?
That was like the second best character on the show.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Everyone but him and goddamn Ian McShane were bullshit.
Him driving around with Ian McShane was hilarious.
It was great cinema.
They should have had a team-up show. That should be this fucking spin-off. Well, this might be good.
Could they get Ian McShane and bring him in, and then it's just good?
Maybe.
The most underutilized actor in Hollywood.
He really is, isn't he?
Do you remember how excited I was for him to be on Game of Thrones?
Yeah,
when they announced that he was going to be in that season?
Because I hadn't caught up on Deadwood, or I don't even think I had really watched Deadwood.
You hadn't watched Deadwood.
I'd watched like a few episodes like years back.
Yeah.
And
I was like, Ian McShane's going to be on fucking Game of Thrones. He's going to be so great. I bet he's going to play this character. I bet he's going to play that character. He's going to finish out the series with them. And then he's in one episode.
Yeah.
And I felt sick to my stomach.
Yeah. Most underutilized actor.
In Hollywood, all of Hollywood. He's been in so much bad shit where he's trying his best to be great. He would be, if he had gotten the right roles, he would be like a Patrick Stewart or Sean Connery or like someone that instantaneously brings like gravitas to a scene.
Yeah. Kind of like...
And he's never really had those roles, you know?
I think it shows, like when he's in a movie, you know?
Yeah, like even John Wick, he like elevates John Wick.
Yeah. Speaking of which, do you think he's going to be in the Continental?
I don't know. Maybe. He should be. Like logically, he should be, unless it depends on when it takes place, really.
Right. Does this take place in between movies, or is it a prequel? Like what do we do there?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. It's got wheels turning in my head, if you will.
Yeah. Are they the wheels of time?
The wheels of time. So we got
we still haven't got a goddamn trailer.
How nuts is that? Yeah, they just announced that the 2nd season has started filming.
They released a little video where you can see the slate and like some of the background of an episode in the 2nd goddamn season.
Yeah.
And we don't even have teaser shit for the 1st season yet.
Well, we do have one teaser thing, technically. It's the like Wheel of Time logo and it moves.
Yeah.
And that's it.
But that's all you get. And it doesn't have anything, it doesn't show any footage. We don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know if they spent any goddamn money on it. Like, we have no idea.
Well, ever since you started talking about this like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't care because it was fantasy. And more recently, I started listening to the books, and it is awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited about it.
I feel like we have this weird fucking cycle. All the things that are being made into movies and TV shows and shit, I was into in like the early 2000s or even some of them into the 90s, right?
Uh-huh.
And they announce it, and I'm like, this is amazing, this is amazing. And you're like, I'm going to go consume all of it. And then we have these conversations where I haven't read this stuff in 20 goddamn years.
Yeah.
And you read it yesterday. And I'm like, God damn it, I need to find the time to go back and reread Wheel of Time.
I don't know.
It makes me feel a little inept.
I don't even know why I do this, because like
it gives me a small dick energy.
After Smallville, and you and James fucking blue-balled me.
We watched Smallville when Smallville was current and relevant.
Well,
and then you wanted to have conversations about it 2 decades later.
Why do you guys go, man, Smallville was really good, you need to watch it?
Because of nostalgia.
Well, don't say you need to watch it and then not talk to me about it.
Well, it's so you can have the nostalgia, not so we can have like intricate conversations about plot details, like as you're watching it. That's so hard to remember. I don't remember any of Smallville.
I mean, what am I supposed to do when nostalgia. It's at the end, when it's at the end of the season and Lex Luthor is like lost all his fucking memories and like Clark is like, oh no, and shit, and I can't talk to you guys about it.
Who are you gonna call?
Apparently not you guys.
You need to make a friend who hasn't seen shit, and you need to just make this friend watch all this shit with you that you missed.
I try to, but people can't keep up, man.
Oh, that's because you watch things too fast.
Yeah.
Man.
I've got a few different people I kind of like. I'm like, you should watch this.
Yeah.
Watch this. You should watch this.
So speaking of stuff that's too fast.
Okay.
I think we spoke too quickly about Apple Plus a couple weeks ago.
Did we?
So a couple weeks ago, we were talking about, what's her name that did Lovecraft Country?
Misha Green.
Misha Green doing stuff for Apple Plus. She signed an exclusive deal, like one of those Netflix, like, I get your next fucking thought type deals.
Yeah. Pretty common deal these days.
Yeah, with streaming services, I don't understand how the fuck that shit works. But Apple is now interested in buying A24. A24 does some weird, like, horror shit and, like, murderous.
Uncut Gems.
Yeah, like, murderous, like, gangster shit. And it doesn't seem like a good fit for Apple Plus.
But it seems like a good fit for Apple. Does that make sense?
A little. What if we're wrong about Apple Plus, though?
What, and it's actually good?
No, not in it's actually good right now. But what if Apple Plus isn't trying to stay on brand? Because right now, Apple Plus feels like whoever's in charge watches NBC, ABC, and CBS and wants to do shows that would work well on those networks. It's just kind of how it feels, right?
Yeah. It doesn't have that same, like, Netflix vibe where it's like, oh, we're not on television, so we can say fuck and show titties and stuff like
HBO,
that. Yeah.
Do you want to see a nipple?
Yeah.
Do you want to see a nipple? And then everybody's like, yeah! That's what Apple has not done. What if they want Misha Green? They want shit like Charlie Day's Mythic Quest. They want A24, and they want to kind of rebrand and make it something that kind of falls more in line with like your HBO Max and your Netflix and your Hulu and stuff.
I mean, that's cool if they're rebranding. I think this would be perfect for them. If I hadn't have known anything that I know about their current shows, it seems like a good fit because Apple's all about like this computer's made like a Swiss watch or something.
Right.
And this is programming that's very artisanal, very
artsy. A24 kind of fits with that artsy fartsy Apple brand, you know?
Yeah.
This runs Photoshop better than your PC.
Like basically if you don't like it, it's your problem because you just don't understand it, you know, kind of stuff.
You just don't know how to use a Mac.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, you don't like Uncut Gems? It's your fucking fault.
Yeah. It's because you're stupid. You found the movie offensive. It's because you're dumb.
Yeah. What? Adam Sandler's not a good actor, and he's actually just a shitbag throughout the entire film?
Yeah, you just don't get it.
Yeah. Fuck me.
Maybe if you had some artistic integrity, you would understand.
Yeah.
I could see Apple doing that. It's weird that they have the most like cookie cutter, network friendly, advertiser friendly product. And they have no free model like Hulu. I understand when Hulu does something that has that like PG-13, maybe PG-14 vibe.
Yeah.
I get that because Hulu has a free model or a lower tier pay model that has advertisement. So it has to be advertiser friendly in some way, you know? Apple doesn't have that problem. Like they're not selling advertisement. They don't need to model themselves after network TV that exists basically for the Nielsen rating to sell ads.
True.
And maybe they finally realized that. Maybe that's why they want A24. Maybe that's why they want Misha Green.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Maybe I'm dumb and didn't even see that like a couple weeks ago when we were talking about it for like an hour.
This was like part of their rebranding. Yeah.
It could be. I mean, maybe they didn't have the right creators before. They went out and they tried to find people that were doing things that were successful under the Nielsen rating on network TV. And they did it. And nobody
real successful people like M. Night Shyamalan.
A shit. Yeah. And now they're going to do something different.
Yeah, sure.
We'll see. It might be enough to make me want to check out Apple Plus again.
Yeah.
I sure as shit didn't want to see C.
I hope that they start doing these movies and they actually put money behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real money.
Real money. Like those 8 figures money.
Fucking Last of Us money.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, I saw this article like maybe 2 days before you sent it to me. And it was like, each Last of Us episode is going to cost more than Game of Thrones or some shit. And it was like, it's going to be in the 8 figures, something that's going to cost more than like anything. And I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
And then you sent me the article.
Yeah.
And it was real. Like, what the fuck?
The article was from Forbes. And it's Forbes interviewing the guy who's in charge of like the media commerce. It's kind of like the Screen Actors Guild of Canada / it's part of the government because they subsidize media there. It's really convoluted and weird. And he's like, it's actually affecting the Canadian economy that Last of Us is being filmed here.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because apparently Last of Us as a series is going to cost like $120 million to film.
Well, damn.
For the first 10 episodes with the intent to continue that budget throughout.
Now, I might just be too stupid, but how does that affect their economy?
Because it's all being filmed in Canada.
Okay.
So they're hiring shit tons of people and all this.
All the people working on the show have to go to Timmy Hortons every day.
Building sets, yeah. They gotta each buy a beaver each.
Yeah. They're low on maple syrup.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're force fed. You have to pay for it too.
God damn.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
But so the first season, Game of Thrones is one of the most expensive things HBO's done. And the first...
It was $20 million an episode, right?
So originally Game of Thrones was $8 per episode.
Yeah.
And after the first season, second season, when it picked up, they took it up to like 10, 12. And then the last season, they were about 15. The last season, they also cut the number of episodes down to 6. So they spent about $90 million on the last season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
This shit's going to be 120 minimum.
Fuck.
120 for the first season, 10 episodes.
See, shit like this throws me for a loop because, like, I feel like I have a good understanding how movies work.
Yeah.
Like, under a budget, right? I don't understand how the fuck a TV series works.
Well, it's weird because you take some... You got to take that per episode number and you divide it up in key strategic places. Like, you remember when they had the dragons in Game of Thrones, and we were like, damn, the dragon cost so much money to CG
Yeah, well, that's what I keep hearing, and I kind of parrot it back, but
it's kind of confusing how that works because it seems like it would be inexpensive to CG it versus buying a real dragon.
Right.
But
I mean, how much does a dragon cost for real?
Realistically, I'm just saying.
But like, I look at something like Game of Thrones, right? Mm-hmm. And they had big action set pieces and stuff.
Yeah.
And there could be an episode or two where people just sit around and they say dirty words and they drink and
on a set that they've paid for like 20 something episodes ago.
And then there's boobs and dicks and stuff like that.
Yeah, how much do dicks cost?
I don't know. Right? But then you get a big ass dragon and you're like, okay, that's where the money's going, right?
Yeah.
Last of Us played the first game and I haven't played the second game.
Right.
Right? But the first game, I don't understand where any of the money would go. Because it's just a fucking trailer park or like an abandoned city.
I think they're going to show the actual apocalypse. I think that's why it costs so much money.
Maybe.
I think you have to spend that amount of money because if you're doing a zombie show, and it's kind of a zombie show, if you're doing that, you could film it in any random scrapyard in the United States and just CG your big open set pieces.
Yeah.
For nothing. You know, you could do that on a CW budget.
I mean, I probably should have looked this up, but like Walking Dead has to be done on like
dude, there's no way Walking Dead is expensive.
Right, because they always shoot in the same area of fucking Georgia every week.
Right.
And people do the zombie things for free.
They build one set per season, basically.
Yeah.
And run that shit into the ground.
Right, it can't cost much.
No.
I'm just wondering, man, I just don't understand how
if you're going to spend that kind of money, you got to have some epic ass scenes.
Yeah. Do they just make the zombies look crazy good?
What if there's just a shit ton of them? You know, Red Cliffs. It's like the most expensive movie, one of the most expensive movies ever done, because all of the giant war scenes are like enough people to be a giant war. That's why they're so expensive, because you have costumes for all those people. Even if all those people were working for free, you still have costume and makeup for all those people, you know?
I don't know, man.
I think they're going to show you the freaking apocalypse. All the stuff they skipped in the game.
Yeah, I'm not saying it has to be a one for one of the game either, because I kind of assumed that they'd do something different anyway. Because if we're all being honest here, Last of Us is a fantastic ass game.
It is.
It's a cliche ass story.
It is.
That story has been done a billion times.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's good.
Yeah.
I like the characters. It's really about the character development.
Right.
That makes the story so special.
So you could give them more backstory. Give them more. A lot of the stuff you wouldn't play in the game that you kind of would have liked to have seen, they can do that.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. They can kind of really like flesh it out.
Yeah. All right.
I think that's where you spend the money. I'm just really shocked that they took something from a video game. Video games are usually like notoriously fucking bad when translated to film. And they put more money than they've put into any of the other projects.
But if we're being honest here, right?
Yeah.
Sony's first party titles are probably prime examples of what good cinema could be.
True.
Or what could be very good cinema.
Right.
Like God of War, Drake's Fortune.
Yeah. I mean, HBO just did Lovecraft Country, Watchmen, Perry Mason, and Golden Compass in the last like 2 years.
Yeah.
And they spent nowhere near that per episode.
Damn.
You know, on any of those franchises.
Yeah.
They have a lot of faith in this to be good.
Yeah, that's even good. That's a very good point.
Like, even with those big Sony numbers from game sales and stuff, like, they have a lot of faith that this is going to be good.
Yeah. There's very few people that have played Last of Us and don't consider that to be in their, like, top 10 or, like, favorite game ever.
I lost interest in it, like, 5 times.
But the majority of people, if you ask them about it, they have this, like, weirdly special...
But they don't feel like that about the second one. I don't know anybody that has that, like... This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. If only it was...
Every conversation is more or less either fuck that game or it starts off with like, it was really good no matter what anybody says.
Yeah. It's true. You know? Do you think the amount of money they're putting into it will make it better, though?
Man, does money make something better?
That's a discussion topic.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah. Like, could you have fixed other shows with more money?
Yeah.
It's interesting. My prime example, right, is I am a huge, like, space combat game. Like, space ace type game fan, you know? Love Wing Commander.
Rogue Squadron.
Love Rogue Squadron. Love X-Men versus TIE Fighter.
X-Men?
X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. Okay. God damn it. Shouldn't have taken that big hit of whiskey before we started the episode.
I was like, what the fuck? X-Men flying, spacecrafts?
I mean, they fly the Blackbird.
That'd be cool. I just never heard of the game. That would have been cool.
It would have been sick. Maybe we can get it made as a fan game now that Disney owns all of it.
Nice.
And get a crossover.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's where my brain goes when you first say, like, could money fix a franchise, right?
Yeah.
Back in the early 2000s, I think even into the 90s, Fox had Space Above and Beyond, which could have been amazing and captivating. It was like kind of a spoof on World War One.
Yeah,
just kind of doing World War One like plane aces, but in space.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, that's fucking the guy on the other team who's a ace, and we're aces, and we're gonna shoot him down.
So kind of like Resistance, Fall of Man.
No, it's all space fighters and shit.
Okay.
But what was that movie a few years ago? It had Josh Hartnett in it. When they're like ace fighter pilots from World War One, Flyboys or something. It's basically Flyboys in space.
Gotcha.
But it had a shoestring budget. It went up against the NFL on Sunday nights. No one gave a shit about it. And it's completely forgotten.
You think if they threw money into it?
If it had money in it, I think it would have popped. But also, like, Wing Commander in 2000. Wing Commander was like one of the biggest PC games at the time.
Uh-huh.
Like probably the equivalent, or probably not the equivalent, but probably close to like a Assassin's Creed or a Tomb Raider even.
Yeah.
Just a little bit later, like 7-8 years later. It was on that tier. Like everybody knew what Wing Commander was. It had Mark Hamill in it.
Fuck.
And when they went to do a Wing Commander movie, it had no money. And it's like Freddie Prinze Jr. and a bunch of forgettable actors.
Yeah.
Like no one important in it. And it just flopped. It was dog shits.
I didn't even realize there was a Wing Commander movie.
Like, no, because it was freaking poverty. It was like a poverty movie.
Fuck.
It should have come out on Sci-Fi, or it should have never been made. Honestly, if you couldn't do the money.
Now, since we're on video games and stuff, the Doom movies.
Yeah.
We were talking about this before we actually started and stuff. Do you think money would have actually made those better?
So think about the first Doom movie.
Well, I never watched the first Doom movie.
Damn.
I've only ever seen the second one.
Oh yeah, we watched the second one like at Christmas one year.
Yeah.
When it came out on Netflix with no warning.
Right. But they were all hyping it up and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, it's going to be amazing. Doom.
And it was like poverty.
Fucking metal music and shooting demons with shotguns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so the first Doom movie has the fucking Rock in it.
That's the only thing I know about it.
And they didn't have the foresight to think that The Rock was going to be this huge movie star. They could have nailed it down as a franchise. They could have made The Rock Doom guy.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like casting and scripting mistakes, right?
Right.
But they kind of did the story of Doom, and they just didn't have the money to do it right and make it look cool. They could have got Trent Reznor to do the soundtrack to it and make it like really
early
authentic.
2000s Trent Reznor doing the soundtrack. That would have been crazy.
Didn't he do the soundtrack to Doom?
Did he?
Or did he? They stole it from him, and then he did the soundtrack to Quake.
I don't know.
I think they stole the soundtrack to Doom from Nine Inch Nails.
Are you talking about the Doom game?
Yeah.
It was everybody. It was Pantera, Metallica.
Yeah, they didn't really do that in that movie. It kind of has like generic music.
Okay, gotcha.
It's just a cheap movie.
Yeah.
And then the second one was a dirt cheap movie. It should have been a straight sci-fi movie.
Well, okay. So I was thinking about this, and I don't want to tank the idea of this movie being a contender, right?
Yeah.
But they're also the people that said the video games are like porn and nobody's there for the story, right? There is a story to Doom, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it really just consists of guy that's super strong.
Right.
Fights demons, opens up a portal to hell.
Yeah, even though he's the ancestor of BJ Blazkowicz, they never give him a backstory.
That's Wolfenstein, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, weird. I don't know. I definitely think that second movie could have used a bigger budget, though.
Yeah.
Because it was like done with a handy cam and like...
Oh, God. Dude, the first one has some first-person perspective shit in it. That's like, this is how we're going to honor the game. Not by making it good, but by doing this. And putting the sound effects in there for some reason.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
You could have made Doom good.
Yeah, true.
With dollars.
So when you originally brought this up to me, I had a really hard time with it because I was like, how do you pick a movie that could have been better with a bigger budget if really the point of the topic is that the movie was forgettable, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, fucking Mr. Glass, man.
Damn.
Unbreakable was building up such like a cool lore of like, what if superheroes actually existed?
Yeah.
You know, comics and stuff, everything comes from something.
True.
Comic books, you know, and gods and lores and mythologies and stuff like that.
Right.
Maybe superhero, like super powered people actually existed.
Maybe there's a shred of reality attached to this.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was so cool. And they followed it up with Split, which was like a sequel.
It was also way later, and you didn't get the tie-in until the last scene.
But that's what made it so cool, too.
Yeah. I popped super hard when Bruce Willis showed up.
Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, it's connected to all this. And then Glass, the trailer was so cool. James McAvoy running on that lawn like he was a fucking madman because they kept on building up the beast.
Right.
And then you go to actually see it, and it's like done on a shoestring budget.
That's probably the only scene that's outside.
Yeah. Everything happens. Well, there's a couple of things that happen on the street of, what is it, Chicago, New York, something like that at the beginning. Otherwise, everything's inside of this asylum.
Right.
Fuck.
That consists of like 3 rooms and a hall.
Yeah. And you got 3 amazing actors in the movie, and they can't even save it. Like, the concept is so cool, but it's just the money is lacking.
You said it was like $20 million.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I had to look it up. Unbreakable was $75 million in the budget.
Yeah.
Split, $9 million. But, I mean, if you think about it...
They filmed it in a cave and it has 3 actors.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
But it's building up to this big crescendo, $20 million.
Womp, womp, womp.
Fuck.
Doesn't even have enough money to be outside. Till the end when they drown him in a puddle.
Yeah, they did do that, didn't they?
Yeah. They literally drowned him in a puddle. It was the most anticlimactic shit I've ever seen for a guy who's indestructible, except has a weakness to drowning in water.
Yeah. They were like, remember that pool scene from the first movie? We couldn't afford a pool.
Yeah. We didn't want to spend the money on a swimming pool.
Oh no, I'm Bruce Willis. My only weakness is water.
Suck puddle, motherfucker. I mean, if you got to take somebody out, you got to take them out how you can.
Like, I guess.
If you got to get some of that nasty ass fucking Dasani water and just pour it down his neck, what you got to do?
I guess.
Shit tastes like soap. Not a sponsor.
Fuck, man.
But yeah, I get it. That should have been an epic movie. Like, that should have been $150 million movie.
Yeah.
And they should have had other super-powered people coming out of the woodwork. And they should have
just the
elevated
Beast.
the story they were trying to tell. Yeah, made the Beast freaking a huge deal like the preview.
Right. Like, you know, maybe he actually does like transform or something.
Yeah.
Like the only thing, if I remember right, the only thing it really shows him do.
His muscles get big.
His muscles get big, but doesn't he like half lift a car and put it back down?
Yeah.
You know?
He doesn't like lose his shit though.
Yeah.
He never like wigs out.
they pretty much like trank him and then it's kind of
yeah,
over.
he's pretty much sedated the entire movie too. That's right.
Yeah. I don't know. So much potential there.
So much potential.
Yeah.
You know which one I think has the most potential? Because comic book stuff has been super, super, super big the last like 15 years.
Yeah.
And DC has a lot of good stories. Like, say what we want about DC, especially when it's not being defended by anyone.
Yeah. They did Watchmen. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they did do Watchmen, kinda. I mean, they bought Watchmen after
it was
the fact.
distributed by.
Yeah, they distributed that shit.
Yeah.
But DC has done some great stories over the years, you know? The Ra's al Ghul Batman stuff was really good.
Yeah.
They've had great characters, like Joker is a good character, even if fucking Harley Quinn is abysmal.
Yeah. Killing Joke. Amazing.
Killing Joke was good. But we've had the CW now for almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the CW has hit like most of DC's high spots.
They are very faithful to like putting some like deep cuts in.
Yeah. With like sub $1 million a season budget.
Yeah. You remember when they put King Shark in there and it was like
half the budget for a season of The Flash?
Yeah.
And then he's not even the villain?
It's like, I'm pretty sure people just like didn't accept paychecks. They were like, I believe in this so much. I will give up
all of my money for
all
King
of my
Shark.
Canadian money
for King Shark for the end of one episode.
Yeah. Because it would be
pop.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah. Those shows, they've done some of the big highlights, man. They even did like Crisis of Infinite Earths.
And it was so bad.
It was horrible. That was our big critique though, when we went back and we watched some CW leading up to it and we watched it and we reviewed it.
Yeah.
I keep calling it CW, it's Arrowverse, right?
Well, it's on the CW.
Because Arrow started it, but the CW DC shit.
The Arrowverse stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really looked like they picked the only people at Comic-Con that would agree to be on film to be in that Crisis on Infinite Earths.
It was rough.
Yeah.
It looked like bad Power Rangers shit.
That's probably like very offensive to people that go to Comic-Con. I'm sorry.
Or that love Power Rangers.
I, from the bottom of my heart, apologize.
I'm sorry. It's Morphin time.
Yeah.
But you got to say it Canadian for the Canadian audience.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a prime example of if you had 8 figures to dump on something, think about how great some of those were. Because some of the casting has been good. Not all of it, but some of it. And you can fix a lot of casting with a lot of money.
And if you think about it too, just kind of adding to your point, wasn't the Arrowverse built on the concept of what would have been the Green Arrow movie?
Yeah, originally.
Yeah, it was supposed to be him on that like prison island.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
It would have been.
It was actually good television too.
It was low budget as fuck, but it was good television. Like Slade looked like shit.
He did.
And they never had any kind of proper fight. Like those fights were like, oh no.
Maybe that's why Arrow worked a little bit better. It was like, it was low budget, but it didn't really have anything that it needed a budget for. And then when you get the Flash.
Yeah.
And you get to
get the story across with the Arrow, he basically needs to shoot you with an arrow.
Yeah.
You get to the Flash and they have real superpowers.
And his biggest villain is either Captain what is it? Captain Cold? And like Gorilla Grodd.
Well, Gorilla Grodd was expensive for them.
Yeah, and they actually showed him.
They couldn't do him for many episodes, so they had to do filler episodes for like half the season where he's fighting like people and they're like, oh yeah, he lost his powers in this episode.
But isn't it amazing how every time they showed like Gorilla Grodd, he looks like one of those fucking phone games where it's like augmented reality and it just kind of places the 3D model like on something and it's like, oh, he's controlling somebody's mind.
Like he didn't look too bad, but it's like, all right, he's not going to interact with you though.
No.
No.
And we're going to do our best to like stay like at least 100 feet away from him.
But can you imagine that story arc with a big budget, like even a 7-figure budget?
Yeah,
like
knock
high seven
everything
figures
they've done on film out of the water.
Yeah.
Like all of the DCEU stuff.
Because they've picked good stories. Like they've picked, at least in the comics.
Yeah.
Most of those were good stories. I don't understand why HBO, who owns all this shit, they're going to take this risk on Last of Us. Like back to our previous topic. They're going to take this risk on Last of Us, but they're doing like Titans. And Titans still looks like it could be on CW. You know?
Yeah.
It's the same pool of money, you know, it's still Warner Media Group.
I really don't know what to say about all that. Yeah, because like I remember what was it? The Comic Story, and it had that whole theory about the like sub HBO Warner Brothers stuff.
Yeah.
When they were doing
DC Now or DC Universe.
Yeah, like basically all the programming they were doing on that was like supposed to almost be like the pilot. Like, I'm going to do the first season. Who's going to buy it from me?
Yeah.
And it's kind of worked out that way a little bit, but they just kind of bought it from themselves.
Yeah, they just kind of bumped it up to the next tier.
I guess, right?
Yeah.
But they continued Doom Patrol.
They did. So far.
And Titans, right?
Yeah, Titans has a season 3. They just got another trailer.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess there's some kind of market for it.
Yeah, they're just not going to ever give it that money, you know?
Yeah.
It's still stuff that you could, if you bumped it over to the CW, nobody would know. You couldn't say fuck Batman. That's about it.
Man.
It's still like the same kind of cheesy everything.
But at least they got to tell the stories they wanted to tell.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like, I actually really do enjoy this movie. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Smith's Red State. It was a very, very cool movie. And there's like a lot of cool story that goes into how they developed this movie.
Yeah.
One of his friends does documentaries, was interviewing the Westboro Baptist people. And there was this whole back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, what if I turn this into a horror movie? And it's like, he writes something and he's like, an artist would do this, you know? And then there's like a lot of, you think it's going one way, it turns left. Yeah. And then it goes right, and then it turns left. It zigs and it zags.
Yeah.
For the story.
I think there's nothing wrong with that movie. I've watched it a number of times and love it.
Yeah. But the way the movie was supposed to end was it wasn't a fake out.
So it wasn't the neighbors blowing like a foghorn and playing an iPod through a speaker system?
No, it was supposed to be the apocalypse. Angel was supposed to come down.
Oh, damn.
The fucking sky was supposed to split open. Angels descend. They fucking turn people to ash.
Vindicated.
Yeah. And the whole world just goes up in flames.
Well, shit.
Yeah. That scene would have cost more than the entire budget of the film.
True.
Yeah, just in fucking like 2-3 minutes.
I mean, angels are expensive as shit.
Yeah, all that CG. And a movie that really required no CG whatsoever.
True. I mean, the most expensive thing in that movie was probably like cellophane.
Yeah, or like the blood packs that explode or something.
Yeah, I guess.
You know?
True.
Yeah, it's a very low budget movie and it does a cool job with it, but
yeah.
Fuck, man.
Damn, that's such a great film.
Yeah. But you're right though, like just a little bit of money can make all the difference.
Yeah, you can either tell the story you wanted to tell or like you can make the visuals of the story you're telling not be offensive to the eyes.
Yeah. You know what didn't have that problem?
What?
Money-wise? Our next topic.
Yeah.
Snake Eyes.
Big spoilers for Snake Eyes. So spoiler for Snake Eyes. Yeah. I was really excited about this when I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
Like that last trailer they put out before this. Super hyped for it.
They did a very good trailer.
Yeah. Goddamn. So like before we shit on this movie, because I think there is some shit to shat at this movie.
Yeah.
It did have a lot of high spots.
I mean, I don't think it's the worst thing ever made.
No, it was an excellent popcorn movie.
Yeah.
But the first 20 to 30 minutes of this movie I was hooked. I was excited. I was enjoying the pacing. The pacing was fast, and they would kind of mess up stuff, but then they would cover it back up, like with the plot as they went. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, why would he accept that? And it's like, oh, because he's a double agent. And it's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense that he would accept that. And the other guy would accept that he accepted that because he's an arrogant piece of shit. And like the psychology just somehow in a weird way kind of works itself out to where it excuses some of the major kind of pacing issue that the beginning has. I felt like it was filmed just like Warrior. Like at least that first fight scene was filmed like Warrior on HBO or
it was very grounded,
HBO.
And it was a cool scene. It was like a whole bunch of fucking Yakuza.
Yeah,
with like short swords. Like
there's a lot of the same people that are in Warrior, which is funny.
Is there a lot of people?
A lot of the same like extras.
No shit.
That are in that or in Warrior.
Okay, well that was very cool.
I was looking it up to see if the music or the choreographer or the guy that played Storm Shadow did help choreograph some of that stuff.
Yeah.
So he choreographs a lot of stuff on Warrior, so kind of that's where you get that same vibe, I guess.
Yeah. I definitely felt like at the very beginning, I don't know about you, it felt like one of those Tony Jaa, like, like I'm a seasoned martial artist and this is my
seasoned martial arts movie.
Yeah, but it was like nobody in the movie was technically that person, right?
Right.
I mean, apparently they might be good at fighting or maybe at least pretending to fight, but...
Or they're great stuntmen.
Yeah. But at least for the first half of that film, I was like, wow, this is killer, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is really, really good stuff.
It looked good. The fight scenes are good. Even the, like, driving a motorcycle fight scenes were exciting and entertaining. They didn't jump the shark as hard as like a Fast and the Furious. They jumped like a little shark.
Yeah, but it was almost kind of like they set a precedence for like him being able to ride a bike well, I guess. I don't know. It wasn't like it came out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden he jumps on a bike and he's like doing flips on it. And it's like, where'd this come from? It's like, well, he's been riding a bike throughout the entire film.
Yeah.
So
they kind of did what they could to excuse the stuff that's ridiculous, but you are watching something in the G.I. Joe franchise.
Yeah.
So you kind of went into that. I thought the overall story wasn't bad. It felt very like kung fu-y.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. When he said that he was a double agent, that's when I feel like it went downhill for me.
Really?
Yeah, because I was digging the whole story of like him being accepted into the clan, and it's like, Storm Shadow, Tommy, right?
Yeah.
Was his name Tommy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like their friendship was cool, and like him seeing the like loss in his eyes and stuff, and he was like, I know you need a family, so like I'm gonna go on my way to help you. I thought all that shit was really cool. Apparently this was shit I watched when I was a kid and I don't remember any of it. I knew they hated each other. I didn't know why, but
yeah, well, I mean, they changed the story up for the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think when it went downhill for me and when it destroyed my fucking childhood was I was all in this movie. I was enjoying it. I was stoked. And then they're like, the Joes, G.I. Joe, and Cobra. And they, for the first time in the film, they bring the G.I. Joe franchise into the film.
Yeah.
About 45 minutes in, and I'm like, oh. And then the next scene, they're like contacting Scarlet, and she's doing fucking G.I. Joe shit. And she has her like accessory from being a toy.
And not only did they bring the Joes into it, they explicitly made everybody that was a good person a Joe or on the side of the Joes. And everybody that was a bad guy just happened to be involved with Cobra.
Right.
Oh my God.
The very essence of like black and white.
Yeah.
And us being gray.
Which we're fine with whatever anybody wants to do.
Offends our sentimentality.
As long as that doesn't hurt anybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Ruins our sentimentality. It was rough. I was like, God damn it, man. G.I. Joe.
You know what's also funny about that too?
What?
The Joes like Scarlet and even Baroness. It felt like the characters were goddamn aware of how much screen time they had.
Right.
Like Scarlett's in the film, and every time you see her, she's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't know. I guess I'll just shoot the bad guys.
Yeah. It was like, we are not going to put any effort into developing anything for these characters. They are here as a check in a box.
Yeah.
And somehow it fucked up my childhood because I realized when we were watching this movie that G.I. Joe might not be cool.
Like, okay, just what the movie lays out for us, right?
Yeah.
Scarlett is part of an anti-terrorist group.
Yeah.
Right? She's chasing after the Baroness, who has killed hundreds of thousands of people, apparently.
Killed a whole train full of people to get to one politician.
And it's convenient for them to team up, so they're just cool with each other.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Not even worried about her shooting her in the back.
No, not even a little bit. Like,
I love when she makes her exit, though. She sees the guy and she's like, I'm out of here.
She literally says, fuck it, and walks away.
Yeah. Shit was amazing.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just thinking like G.I. Joe should have like a moral obligation to be like, I fucking hate this person, right?
Except you, Cobra, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, you can't team up with Cobra.
No.
She just killed a train full of people.
Yeah. Like, I don't care what the situation is. We're not friends.
She was worse than goddamn Kenta.
Yeah. Wait,
that was his name. The cousin that was a piece of shit that had the flaming gem.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember him.
So it's a forgettable popcorn movie.
Yeah.
To be honest, it had a banging trailer. If they had left G.I. Joe out of it, I think I could have gotten all the way through this movie and not realized that G.I. Joe wasn't cool and been like, damn, Snake Eyes is sweet. I can't wait until they do that reboot of the G.I. Joe franchise and he's in it.
Yeah.
Instead, like, G.I. Joe shows up and I'm like, God damn you.
It almost kind of feels like this movie almost has its own metaphor within it for how you should feel about it. Remember the 3 tests?
Yeah.
It's like every time he walked up and he was like trying to fight, do something, it was like, no, you're supposed to be like, hey,
humble.
can I exchange the bowl?
Yeah. Be humble.
Know? Or like, hey, I'm going to go on a little vision quest. Or like, hey, I'm going to fall in the snake pit and just stand still.
Big ass CG snakes.
Yeah, and as long as I'm a good person, apparently snakes don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't eat good people. They only eat bad people.
Yeah. It's kind of like the movie just constantly blue balls you at every section. You know, you think it's doing this and it just kind of goes like, no, there's not going to be a fight there.
But it had plenty of fights.
I mean, it had plenty of fights, but it just didn't like capitalize on any of the cool stuff.
It didn't seem like they were the right fights.
Yeah.
You never got the Kenta versus Tommy one-on-one duel to the death. It was just constantly interrupted.
Yeah. Like you thought it was going to be a better movie than it was. And then it's like, oh, he hates me because he's supposed to hate me.
Well, first we thought it was going to be a really, really bad movie.
I didn't think so.
Really?
No, because remember the sequel.
Talked about it like 2 years ago. Yeah, the sequel is good.
Yeah.
Retaliation.
I was definitely banking on this being cool.
And they had that big fight in Retaliation.
Yeah.
The Snake Eyes Storm Shadow fight. Where they're on the side of the cliff and they're like jumping about.
Oh, and okay, that brings something else up.
Uh-huh.
How come he doesn't talk later on?
I don't know.
Like where?
Maybe that happens later. He's supposed to be mute. Like he's supposed to not talk at all.
Yeah.
But
I thought he could talk. I thought he was like
vow of silence.
A vow of silence. Yeah, I thought it was like some kind of like
maybe he'll get a sequel and they'll do a vow of silence.
I was literally expecting at the end of this whole thing. You remember how they like were going to accept him?
Yeah.
Then they didn't accept him because he was actually a double agent.
Yeah.
But then they did accept him because Snakes didn't need him.
Yeah.
You know? I thought they were going to be like, we accept you under the condition.
Vow of silence.
Yes.
It would have been dope.
Like you give up your identity. You are no longer whatever.
Yeah. Now you're actually Snake Eyes. But he already did that at the beginning of the movie.
I don't know.
Like gave up his identity because he didn't know who his dad was. Like he knew who his dad was, not like in the sense that his mom was a hoe, but like in the sense that like You know what I mean? It was a plot. Apparently his dad was a G.I. Joe as well. Because all good people are G.I. Joes and all bad people are Cobra.
Yeah.
The whole world.
Oh my God. Wouldn't that be amazing if that was just like made up intel? She was like, yeah, your dad was a Joe. Yeah, and you should come work with us. Yeah. All the bad people are Cobra.
That's our recruitment strategy.
Yeah, nationalism. No politics. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
No, I didn't mean to do it.
You betrayed the vow of the gray.
No. I apologize.
God damn it.
For everything I've ever done. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
From the bottom of my heart.
I mean, that was pretty much a good recap of the movie. I would give, like, if I had to put a number on this movie, like 6 out of 10. It's a little above middle.
Yeah, man.
It didn't suck. I was entertained the whole time. It just kind of hurt my childhood because now I know G.I. Joe's not cool.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those where I'd wait until it came out on like a streaming service and watch it.
Yeah.
You know?
What if you had AMC's A-List?
Not a fucking sponsor, but yes, I would go use it.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of movies out and you can watch up to 3 movies a week.
Yeah.
Anything you want, IMAX.
Yeah, you get discounts on concessions.
Yeah. Dolby Digital Surround, whatever the fuck.
Shit's amazing. We watched this in Dolby Atmos and it was awesome.
Atmos, yeah.
I had a great time.
Yeah. Up to 3 movies a week.
Yeah. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
And that's an episode.
Right.
Because if we shill any harder for AMC and don't get paid for it, I don't know.
Yeah. God damn it. If they gave us a sponsor, that'd be so dope.
All they have to do is pay for my AMC's A-List and I'd be happy.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be cool if we were in the commercials?
Oh, we should be in the commercials.
Yeah.
We could have our Fire Bear shirts on and then people would see it before the movies and they would listen to the podcast.
Every time we talk about buttholes or dicks or anything, they'd be like, hey,
what if they fine us? Or they put a representative from AMC in here and they just sit on the couch and they're like,
nope. Mm-mm. Nope.
Don't go there.
Yep.
Yeah. But if you enjoy this shit, we don't have sponsors, so we can say whatever we want. And you can say whatever you want to us. You can tell me how great the podcast is, or if you disagree with something. You can threaten to assault Dustin if you want. Throughout the week, you can hit us up at the
it's
Fire
your
Bear
right
Republic.
As an American.
Yeah. Fire Bear Podcast on Twitter. And Go Joes, I guess.
Yeah. Go Joe.
Actually, we're neutral. Shit.
Fuck.
God damn it. Now I did it. For the power of neutrality?
Yeah.
This is the Fire Bear Republic signing off.
If that's okay with you.
Bye.